So it wasn't anything that I did wrong. I went back and did the exact same thing. So I'll see if it'll come up. And it tells me clearly that it's not on kids. So let me see if this video has been removed. Okay, that's the old one. Oh, okay. Now I can see the comments. I don't know what it was. I went in and it's clearly said that it was not for kids. It was for over 18. So I have no idea what the glitch was, but thank you all for coming back. Hi Lala, hi Lashes, Juicing with Jay, Tammy, Lady Dagger Status. Peace and blessings to you as well. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to wait and see if anyone else is coming in. I appreciate you all for coming back, but I have no idea what it was. Hi, TLC in the garden. I'm excited you called alive as well. Okay, sorry I can't see very well, so you all know I have to squint. Those who've been rolling with me, they know. So I have 7 people in the room, and I will wait. Not long, but I will wait, okay? So I can't see the messages on here, so you all know I have to look over there. They come up on here, but they this big. But I guess you all already know that you all are the experts, not me. So, and this has a delay, so if I say something and it's not like correlating with what you all are seeing or hearing, it's because this is late. Hey, Jihad. Okay, everyone's coming in, speaking to everyone. You're welcome, David. I'm glad you like the soap. Yes, I do sell it. Hey, G Mama. Okay, I am only going to wait a few more minutes and then we're going to get started. Okay, David, I hope you kept the sticker to whatever the name of the soap was, because I don't remember what I sent you. Hi, Felicia. Did I see the shout out on your last live? I don't think so. On your last live? No. I have not been getting notifications. So everything that everybody is talking about what's going on with YT, okay, so the difference with me is when I go, because I hear you all saying, talking, complimenting each other, oh, your video was good about the such and such and such and such. And I'm like, I didn't see that. Excuse me. And I keep hearing everybody talking about hi, triple threat and happy life. So I keep hearing people, saying, compliment people on their videos. And I'm thinking, I didn't see that. So then I go to check to see if my notifications is on with that person, and it is. So I don't understand. I mean, I'm still sub to them. So I don't understand why I am not getting everybody's video. So I have been missing a lot of stuff. And the only reason I know to go, I be thinking that they just not putting out any, content. And so then when I hear someone say something about it, I go and look and it's there. And so I have no idea what's going on, but I've had to go back and just search for stuff as people, comment on other people videos. Okay, I am going to start. Okay, first of all, I would like to start with those who catch the replay. I thank you for watching it. I hope you get something out of it. And I also would like to address those who have been hearing and not believing what's been in the news. I first started hearing about shortages, food shortages, and it was about over a year, like a year and 3, 4 months ago. So I started hearing about this, but I was on TikTok. I was not on YouTube yet. And so when I came over to YouTube, because TikTok, it does not rotate like YouTube does. So I would catch it and then I wouldn't see it for a while. And then so I know it's been out there. And I know people, your family have tried to tell you, your neighbors, your co-workers, you see it on YouTube. And it's not connecting. You don't believe it. I don't understand. But now the president has come out and told you. And trust and believe, when a president come out and tell you something, it's bigger than the way they came out and told you, okay? And if you are still not believing what you're being told by the news and everybody else, hi, Andale. Okay, if you're not believing these things, say, you know how couples look at each other in the eyes. Baby, I love you. Baby, I love you too. And you know how you run around playing with your kids, chase them around the house. You catch them. You all hit the floor. You laughing together. Baby, I love you. I love you too, Mommy. I love you too, Daddy. Well, if you truly love, you need to get food, water, and over-the-counter meds. Because it's nothing like that tug on your clothes and you looking down to that precious one that you just told, I love you, baby. And they're crying big crocodile tears. Mommy, I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry, Mommy. And you got big crocodile tears in your eyes saying, baby, I know. Baby, I know. It's not necessary. Get to the store and purchase the things your family need. Not your regular shopping. Not this sugar, but this sugar. Not this flour, not this rice, not this beans, but this. If you do not know what to do with these things in bulk, you can take a screenshot of these comments and you can follow any of these people and they can tell you what to do with that bulk food. You don't have to follow them. Just go check out what they're talking about. And they're going to introduce you to someone else, and you're going to learn what they're talking about. Don't wait until those crocodile tears are rolling. Your heart is broken because that child is crying for food when you could have prevented it. Okay? That's all I want to say about that. Hi, Carbon Q. Is that the only one? Yeah. Okay, and so Rambo Green, how are you? Thank everyone for coming in. And we want to talk about the weather. Everybody can say my weather hasn't been like this before. What's really going on? Things are changing. So we really, people who don't even get cold weather, not even prepared for it, not dressed for it, it's happening. So you don't want that incident to happen where then the cold comes behind it, snaps those electrical wires outside. How many people already have their heaters on now? Can you imagine not being able to push that button and turn that heat on? You need to follow these people and find out what to do about that. Find out how to heat your home. Find out how to get clean water. Snapshot, screenshot these names, and go search for these people and see what they're talking about. We are a group of people trying to help each other. We are teachers and we are learners. We're just not the teachers that dress up and go to a building every day. We're teaching each other and we're teaching others. So we all pretty much do the same thing, but everybody is unique. That's what makes things so great, because although we're doing the same thing, we're doing it in our own unique way. Okay? So that's all I want to say about that. Get some food for your family. Believe it if you have not been believing it. If you need to learn how to heat your home because you can't go turn on that button, you can't plug in a space heater, follow some of these people and if they are not the direct ones, they're going to lead you to someone. See, this is a big connection here. When you follow one person, you're like following hundreds of people, because they're going to turn you on to somebody else and they're going to turn you on to someone else. Okay? So that's all I have to say about that. I have a net just getting on my nerves here. Okay, so the first thing I want to say before I get started is I want to give a reminder about ordering from Lady V. I had asked you all, but I know everyone didn't get the message. But if you order from Lady V Collections, which is my site on Etsy, leave in the comments that you are a part of the YouTube family, because I generally give out a free sample soap with every order. But this is the size of that soap that I give out. If you are a YouTube family member, then you get a soap like this, or like this. Okay? This is the difference. So leave in a comment when you order so you can get this and not this. Okay? That's just a little something I wanted to say before I start. Okay. So I know everybody has been teaching each other what to do, how to do it, what's the best thing to do. Okay, let me speak to someone. Hi, Nikki. Angela's Garden Delight. EJ Melton. Let me see if I skipped anyone else. I think that's it. If I did skip you, I do apologize. Okay. So I know we've all been, showing each other, and a lot of things have been like overly expensive. Some things are in the middle. Some things are small, but we're all trying to get all the things we need to be self-sustainable, or to just have the things we need in our home. So today's nuggets are things that's pretty much already in the home. You know, this way we can save a little bit of money because we're going to be using things that we already have. And I know some people know about these things because some of them been around for years, but everybody don't know these things because, and I have proof of that when I check my comments. I have a lot of comments that say, oh, I forgot about that. You know, they knew it, but it's been years ago and it's no longer at the top, you know, of their mind. And so that's helpful when you bring things up and people haven't, you know, seen it in a while. Or some people say, oh, I never knew that. And so that's what I want to do today. I want to talk about, hi, Diversity Love. Never seen you before. Welcome. Okay, so I'm going to start with things like, okay, I'm going to start with baking soda. Okay, now everybody knows baking soda is good for pet odors, body odors. It's an antifungal, it's antibacterial, it's for cleaning. But if you research, you know, that's my key word. If that's ever on a test, you ought to know. That's one of the words I kick out all the time, research. Hello, Cassandra. Hello, Cottonwood. Okay, so researchers for the Medical College of Georgia have evidence that a daily dose of baking soda may help the spleen to promote an anti-inflammatory environment. The results published in the Journal of Immunology suggest that baking soda could be a safe and easy way to treat autoimmune diseases in the future. So I have known that baking soda works for a lot of different things. Matter of fact, at work, I used to keep it in my little overhead. That was one of the things I kept at work, was a box of baking soda. Generally, it was there for GI, you know, when you have a little indigestion from eating or whatever. And then I heard, which I have not found that in research. I think I did way back when I first heard about it, but I haven't seen any lately, about it also helping with colds. And I mean, our ancestors back in the day, that when baking soda was around, they used baking soda for colds. So that was another reason I had it in my upper head cabinet at work, because when I felt a little I mean, you all have no idea how, because I have low immune system. So when I feel something coming on, you all don't know the paranoia that goes on. I mean, I'm already mixing as it is, but I am trying to create all kind of things. So I get that baking soda going because I be trying to cut it off in its track. So those just a couple things that I thought I would bring to you all attention, that you can do research as well and find out about, is there something that you're interested in? Because like we know, at one day, we may not be able to just run and get Robitussin and run and get something to boost our immune system. We have no idea what's going on, and that's why we do what we do. We prepare and we research and we try to find out what's next. Okay, plan B. Okay, we the plan B people, okay? Okay, so the ABC. Now, we all know apple cider vinegar is for cleaning, disinfecting. It also treats nail fungus. So if you go to the nail shop and those nails acting a little strange and you don't want it to grow up into some big, ugly fungi, you can clean it in that apple cider vinegar. It helps lower blood pressure, blood sugars. It is also a strong anti-inflammatory, so it can decrease pain associated with inflammation. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a story about a friend of mine who had her, it was probably her blood pressure was up. Okay, I think, hello, always Tam Tam. She lived in Maryland, and I called her one day, and she was just so sick, just so sick. And I was like, well, what's wrong? And she was like, I don't know. My head has been hurting. And, I'm asking all the appropriate questions. She was like, no, no, no. Did you fall? No, no, no. And I'm like, you think it could be your blood pressure? Well, I don't think so. I don't know why it would be up. And I say, well, do you have vinegar in the house? And she says, no. And I'm like, well, can you send your guy to go get some? Well, I have to tell you something about her guy. I'm not saying he disliked me. I'm just saying he thought I was different. He had a nickname for me. And the nickname was Stirring the Pot. That was my nickname. I'm like, what does that mean? And then she said, well, he just, because every time you say something, then it happens. And, it's just kind of like you call stuff, all the time. And you be saying stuff that you shouldn't have known. And I'm like, okay. So he went to get the apple cider vinegar. So I called later and I told her, she asked me what dosage. I told her how to use it. And I called later. I'm like, well, how are you feeling now? She's like, oh, it's still horrible. I'm like, really? She's like, yes, I'm just so sick. I said, did he give it to you? And then she was like, so she calls him. Did you put it in there? No. What? Put it in there. So he goes and mixes up the warm water again. And I'm like, you didn't notice, you didn't taste it. She's like, I'm sick. I didn't know. So he goes and he makes it again and he puts the apple cider vinegar in the warm water. So I didn't check back with her till the next day. So I called her and I'm like, well, how you doing? She's like, oh my goodness. She said, oh, we went and picked up so-and-so's twins, and then we went and picked up so-and-so's kids, and we picked up his siblings, and we went to the carnival. They had a ball. We had a ball. I said, so it worked. Oh, yeah. So how does he feel about that? But anyway, apple cider vinegar, and I'm not saying use it as medication. I'm only saying use it in a pickle. Use it if it's way, way, way high, but you trying to get it down some. That's the only time I'm saying that I would use or suggest to my friends to use apple cider vinegar. I also did it for another one of my friends who lives in Texas. And if anybody knows about hometown food, and if anyone is on here from St. Louis, they know what the hometown foods are. I don't care where you move, they still crave hometown foods. And once they come back, they go looking for those foods. And these foods for St. Louis is the Chinese food and Emo's Pizza. So she came by my house because I had baked her some diabetic desserts. And she was just holding up the wall. She was just so sick. She had been there for maybe a week already for a funeral. And she was like, I'm so sick. I did it to myself. I'm like, you had emos, you had chat. She said 3 or 4 times. And I said, it's probably your blood pressure. And she was like, yeah, it's probably. I said, because all of that is full of sodium. Pizza, Chinese food. And so I went and mixed her up a little dose and handed it to her. She didn't ask what it was. She didn't ask anything. She didn't like, what this? No, she went. And so she was talking to her son. She was like, wait a minute. She said, you got to be kidding me. She said, I should have called you 4 or 5 days ago. She said, the headache is gone. I'm like, yeah. I said, so in an emergency, this is something you can do just so you can feel better at that time. I'm not saying abuse it. I'm not saying, I'm just saying take it when you need to, because a horrible headache and that can go into something else and something else. So it's just to knock that off right there. And so almost everybody know that you can use apple cider vinegar for a high blood pressure. Hi, MTGVTV. I think I spoke. Hi, Siftings and Soil and More. Okay. And, okay. Okay, now we're going to talk about bay leaves. I've talked about bay leaves before. I've told you all about it, reducing blood glucose, lowering blood pressure, and it helps with the healthy immune system, vitamin A, B6, and C, vitamin C. It's good in tea for relieving sinus issues. But I'm going to tell you about burning bay leaves. If you never burnt a bay leaf, now I must admit, it smells like the little recreational stuff. Okay. And I think about, because I'm a senior and my neighbor downstairs is a senior. And I just think about the times when I would come home from work and I used to think she probably saying, "Oh, lady be getting lit down there." But let me tell you about burning bay leaves. It relieves anxiety, stress, inflammation, and it calms the brain's function. Okay, so I worked in intensive care, right? You can imagine what I saw in the intensive care. Day in, day out. The horrific things I saw. When I come home, I work night shift. When I come home, I have the bay leaves set up in the little glass thing, waiting till I finish my shower. And I would, as I'm finishing my shower to go into my bedroom, I would light it because you don't want to directly breathe in the bay leaves, okay? I would close the bathroom door. And while I'm lotioning down, dressing with, saying my prayers, then I would open the door when I climb into bed and pull those blankets up, knocked out. Because other than that, when you see things that you can't unsee, you can't just go home and fall asleep because your mind sees that stuff over and over and over. It just plays over and over in your mind. So bay leaves, I went through bags. I learned how to order the double pack on Amazon where you get two. And it was a nice size bag too. And that held me up because when I came home and I knew it was stressful, and you know, night shift people, it's like you get gypped out of a day because you know you don't get off to 7 in the morning, so you already into you know, it's already done cut you out of your sleep time, right? And so you always rushing to do what you have to do so you can get in bed. And so you want to sleep. And a night shift is a hard shift anyway, because everybody's supposed to be asleep. It's just not normal to work overnight, right? You should be in bed. So that's hard on anyone's body. So you need your sleep. And so you laying in the bed, just visualizing what you saw, and it will drive you crazy. But that bay leaf, you gotta try it. Everybody has a bay leaf in their house. Fire it up. That's all I got to say. And it will just put you in it's one of the Musa. Yes, it does. It puts you in that Musa moment. Okay? So, and it also, because I have burners all over the house. So it also helps to repel flies, moths, roaches, and mice. And I have it for the because you all know I had a house full last year. I had 40 plants in this house last winter. So I had the nets out the wazoo, which you see it's one or two still here, but that may be because I have dirt sitting right next to me. But yeah, so it helps with those things as well. Okay, yellow mustard. This is something else that I kept in my overhead at work, okay? Yellow mustard helps balance cholesterol levels, which reduce the risk of cardiovascular diseases. It also fights inflammation, may lower blood pressure, helps with muscle cramps and indigestion. For some reason, I used to get muscle cramps all the time. And when I complained to the doctor, she used to always say, you need to drink more water. I'm like, ma'am, you have no idea. It's impossible for me to drink more water than I drink. I don't do sodas. I don't do juices. I don't do store-bought teas. I just do this little homemade tea that I make. That's all I drink is water. That's not the problem. So I never understood why I used to get these cramps all the time, but I kept that mustard in my overhead, and it was for indigestion when that was an issue, and it was for muscle cramps. So just in case you didn't know that, that would help, because we cannot afford a lot of things that we don't know if it's going to help or not. It has a lot of, side effects in it, a lot of ingredients that we can't even pronounce. So sometimes simple is better. And in the event that we cannot get to the store and get these items, these are simple things that's in the kitchen, okay? And it's just a reminder. Like I said, I know this is things people already know, but you might want to make a notation. You might want to jot it down. Remember, this works for this. You might want to just take notes sometime, and it will help you. So, okay. I think I've spoke to everyone. Hi, Psalms 146, Crafty Mom Creations, Budget with Fatima. Okay, so I told you all last week about the benefits of putting citrus inside of your homemade concoctions, like the one I have here. I have to have my tea next to me, and it's full of citrus. And because citrus really helps when you are trying to boost your immune system. Okay, so, and I did forget to tell you all pineapples as well, even though I just said citrus, but pineapples is also. But one thing about the peels is they have about as much or more benefits than the actual fruit. Okay, now I don't generally do that for my family, even though I did this time, because that's a lot of work and I'll be busy. But when I do it for my Corvette 19 people, then I do it. Because so what you have to do is you have to bring all their fruit, put it in a sink. This is what I do. I put it in a sink. I fill the sink up with water, and I add sea salt and baking soda. And the sea salt is it's like an abrasive for me. So when I'm scrubbing, because it's all grainy. And so I wash the fruit, and then I let it soak while I'm doing everything else. And then I come back and I scrub, and then I let that water out. Then I fill it up again, because you're going to use these peelings, okay? These peelings are going to be a part of your tea. So that's why you got to clean these peelings well. Pineapple too, pineapple, that's a rough one. But pineapples have a lot of ingredients in the peelings, a lot of benefits. And so, yeah, I just scrub them 3 or 4 times, and then I put them in the pot. So I just want to let you all know. And remember how they used to say the white part of the orange, it has more benefits than the orange. And when you're peeling the orange, you're not getting that benefit because you are removing that skin. Well, when you are putting that skin in your pot of tea, then you are getting those benefits from the white skin. Okay? Thank you, MTGV. I appreciate that. Okay. David Corey with Crop, I don't think I spoke to you. Hello. I appreciate you all coming in. Okay. And the peels also, like I said, they have just about as much nutrition and vitamins as the actual fruit. So when you're throwing those peels away, you're throwing away some good stuff. But like I said, it's a job. And like I said, I don't do it every time I make tea, because I make tea every single week. that's too much. But when I'm doing it for my clients, I'm going to take the time and I'm going to scrub them. And, or if I'm just doing it for my family. And like I said, cold and flu season coming up. I didn't do it in today's batch, but I will as closer as we get into the weather and we start feeling scratchy throats or whatever, then I'm going to incorporate the pills as well. And they also help reduce inflammation. And it says it's helpful for people with arthritis and gout. Those pills. Okay? Okay. Bentonite clay. Okay, a lot of us have heard of bentonite clay. I have. I use the Redmond, but Redmond is not, this is not organic. So depending on what I'm using it for, then I will use this brand is Sky Organics. So it's 100% pure. Okay. Okay, things you could do with bentonite clay. You can use it as a toothpaste. I've never done it. I don't know, it's a mind thing for me. I know a lot of people do it, but even though I do a lot of herbs, sometimes some things just, I have to like work my way up to it, and I have not worked my way up to brushing my teeth with bentonite clay. I may have to one day. I'm not throwing it off the table, okay? If I get to a point where I don't have my baking soda, my coconut oil, and my peroxide, because those who do not know, I don't use store-bought products. I make just about everything. And so that's what I make my toothpaste out of. And then you can put a little clove oil in it, just a little. Clove oil burns like the freaking dickens, okay? So you just put a little bit of that in there and it's going, and that would even help if you had a gum soreness, you know, if you had some problems with a tooth. A lot of people don't even know that you can just make a paste out of clove and rub it on that area and that pain is gone. Does not taste well, but hey, it's the sacrifice, okay? Okay. You can use bentonite clay you can make a paste and put it on a minor wound, not a big open burn, a minor burn like you would do in the kitchen on the oven, something like that. Diaper rash, skin issues, poison ivy. I once made an antibacterial soap out of bentonite clay. I gave it away as a gift item because before this stuff that's going around, I used to go, march every October with the, breast cancer ladies. And so we would all give like little gifts. And one of my gifts one year was I made an antibacterial soap. And the reason I did it is because for some reason, MRSA was real prevalent around that time. And I just wasn't understanding, people wouldn't come to work. And when they come back, you'd be like, hey, I ain't seen you in a while. Yeah, I was out with MRSA. Really? I know kids who wrestle because they're all on that mat, all rubbing around on each other and on that mat. I know a lot of your students can get MRSA. I know patients in the hospital get MRSA, but I just didn't understand how other people got MRSA. But so I'm like, okay, MRS is really going around. I'm going to make this soap. You can help somebody. So I had given everybody this soap. And so one day my neighbor had called me and she asked me, she said, do you have something for athlete's foot? And I was like, no. I said, do you still have that bentonite? That clay, that antibacterial soap? And she said, yeah. And I was like, use that, try it. She called me back. She said, oh my God. She said, it absolutely worked. She said the itching has stopped, the odor has gone, the irritation, the redness. She said it absolutely worked. And I was like, and let me tell you all, a lot of my products I make, I don't know what all they could do until clients come back and tell me. I can sit up and tell you it works for this, 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 and this. And a lot of things I do as far as medicinal that helps the skin, body, hair. I don't just open up an apothecary book and say, and let them tell me this works for this works for this works for this. I put it in people's home, 5 to 6 people home. I'm like, I want you to try this. I want you to try this. I give them paperwork. I tell them to track it. Let me know when you first saw the first sign of whatever the product is I'm looking for the results of. And I get all the, and I do it myself because I don't want to just take my advice or my opinion. And so I get all this information, and when it matches up, then that's how products end up on my Etsy list. And those are the products, like I said, helping with eczema, helping with, blemishes. And, I even get somebody, it even helped with their chicken pox scars, which I didn't know it was do that. My pain reliever, I would have never thought that would have helped with shingles. And then when someone called me and said, hey, my cousin, whoever, wanted me to let you know that thank you so much that your pain reliever helped with shingles. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I've seen shingles on people, and that's a rash. How did she put that on that rash without it burning? And then I did learn that some people's shingles are not open rash. It just might be you could tell it's under the skin rash, but it's not open. And so evidently it was the pain that it got rid of. So a lot of these things, I don't know. I don't have every disease. I don't have everything that I make products for. So I depend.
I didn't understand that.
I depend on people coming back telling me what these products do and how it helped them because I don't know it all. And so then that helps me tell the next person, or when someone calls me or asks me, do I have something that helps this? Then I could suggest that you could try this because someone else said it worked, and it generally does. So that's how I go about that. So tea tree oil. Okay, a lot of us know about tea tree oil, essential oil. It's a wonderful oil. I have it in my home. I will always have it in my home. And you always want to have something that says antifungal, antibacterial, because we could get into anything, okay? I mean, I've known people, the smallest thing, they may have slid down. I knew someone who slid down the stairs and had just a little scratch and didn't think anything of it. And that thing blew up to be one big ugly thing. So having something at home that has antibacterial, antifungal properties, you can clean that little area with that, and you can also do that with a bentonite clay. Bentonite clay goes a long way. And like I said, you just add these essential oils to it, and you could just make you a whole new concoction, okay? So it's good for that, and it's also good for nail fungus, insect bites, and it also reduces inflammation. A lot of reducing inflammation here. We need to have all this in our home because I told you all repeatedly, inflammation is what causes diseases. Get the gut together, which in turn get the inflammation together, gets the immune system together, gets you together. Okay? Okay, another thing I want to talk to you about is make your own Vicks Vapor Rub. You can buy a container like this. You can buy the roll that there's some round. You can buy any kind of container and make your own Vicks Vapor Rub. That way you can put it, make it in a jar, which you have to rub it on. But if you don't want to rub it on, and you just rather do like this, and if you don't want it all over your fingers or whatever, you can make it in this, or it don't matter. But when you make your Vicks Vapor Rub, you don't have to buy it. And another thing, and the same oils that I'm going to tell you how to make the rub with, you can also use those oils in your diffuser. I have diffusers all over the place because I don't like being sick, and I like that in my air when it's cold and flu season. So let me tell you how to make your Vicks Vapor Rub. All you need is the tube, beeswax, and you're going to buy the appropriate oils. Olive oil, and you have to boil it on the stove when you're not going to put it in the infuser. If you're going to put it in the diffuser, you just put it in the diffuser, but not the olive oil. You just want the essential oils in the diffuser. And the oils I pretty much use, I think I use lavender, eucalyptus, and tea tree oil. Okay, that's what I use for my. I use different things, but that's the main go-to because I know that eucalyptus, you know that smell. That's what opens up that nose. Okay, so you can make your own little vapor rub, or you can put it in your infuser and just sit. That way, you can just inhale it, and so it's always working when it's always in the air. And you'd be surprised how that infuser is also, helping with bugs around. If you got little flying creatures that they don't like that smell. That's why we put it in our bug sprays, our homemade. You won't find that in your store bug sprays, but you will in your homemade. Okay. I don't know why this thing keeps scrolling down. Okay. Hey, off the wall prepper, Latanya Lewis. Okay, thank you, off the wall. Okay, I think that's everybody. Okay, and you all need to have if you can afford it, you could probably find them on, just when you're looking for things that you know you need, just shop around, try to find the cheapest ones. But we all need to have blood pressure machines around the house, pulse oximeters around the house, pulse ox machines. That's a little thing they put on your finger at the hospital because that shows what your oxygenation is, because if it gets down below 80, it's time to make it to the hospital. Okay, you can't not sit at home with a pulse ox number reading below 80. And blood pressure kits, sometimes it just helps you understand what's going on with you. Because a lot of times, when I'm sure it has happened to you all, when you get a headache, you're like, and sometimes my head goes to the worst. Oh my God, is this aneurysm? Oh my God, do I have a brain tumor? Is it my allergies? So if you have a blood pressure machine, you can alleviate that one right there. Is it my blood pressure? If that blood pressure is normal, you can say, okay, process elimination is not my blood pressure. So that's something just good to have around the house. And BiPAP machines, if you need those, you need to get those, because we really don't know what's going on. We really don't. And I mean, stores are running out of everything. Medications are hard to get. And when the president made the comment, if you listen thoroughly to what he said, when he only spoke about food shortages. But in between the lines of him saying that all these countries are involved, and you realize we rely on some of those countries for things that we get from the grocery store, the dollar store, the big box stores, Target, Walmart, Amazon. So if we may not be able to get food, may not be the only shortage. So if you read between that line, there are other things we may not be able to get. So if you have a need in your family or your kids needing any of these machines, so you could probably take care of your kids, you might want to try to get them and just have them, okay? Because that's what that said to me. And I know a lot of us do not follow the news, but you should at least have an app on your phone, because when that scroll across, if it's something you're not interested in, then you just ignore it. If it's something you are interested in or it's important, then you open it up and you read it. So I know even though we don't keep up with the news, we need to know what's going on around us. And that was news. That was just not a food news. That was news. So, okay, so the best making the best of our garden flowers, herbs, and trees. Okay, so you need to research every part of what you're growing because I don't like to throw away nothing. Okay, if the root is good, if the flower is good, if the leaf is good, whatever is on that, I want to find a way to use it. So before you, with whatever you have in your garden, research, find out what's good, either medicinal for a rub or to take oral. Know what's in your garden. Okay. So things that you can do with what you take out of your garden, and I know a lot of us already know this, but I'm sure there are some people. Everybody on here is not a garden person, so that's why I do these things, just so everybody else can be aware as well. Okay, so dehydrating your vegetables, you put them in, date them up, put them in a jar. You want to dehydrate your apothecary for medicinal and for your kitchen, okay, whatever you're cooking with. Okay, you can freeze herbs. That's what I do. I have them dried and I have a big bag in the freezer. So you can throw them in your soups, throw them in your teas and whatever else you fix that you want those particular herbs in. So you might want to bag them up small where you can just throw it in there. But at the time I was busy, so mine is in like a big bag. So I just have to like break off a big old hunk. And that's what I do. And I throw it in my pitcher when I'm boiling my tea and add those herbs. So you can freeze them. You can make tinctures and oxymels. Everybody know what tinctures are. If you don't know what an oxymel is, it's pretty much like a tincture, but it's the combination of the vinegar and the honey. The vinegar and the honey and whatever herb you add. If you're concerned about high blood pressure, you want to research your herbs for high blood pressure. That's what you're going to make your oxymel out of. I have like oxymel for GI. I get my GI herbs, my vinegar, my honey, make my oxymel. Research it. It's one of those things where you have to let it marinate for so many days. Then you want to drain off the, herbs, and then put it in a nice little tight jar. And if it doesn't have fruit in it, because you can also do fruit in your oxymels, so if it has fruit in it, then that has to be in the refrigerator. If it does not have fruit, it can sit out on the countertop. Okay? Hey, sis. Okay, tinctures and oxymels. Okay, marinate. If you all remember, or you can go back and look at one of my videos where I marinated oils. Okay, so like this is valerian root. This is burdock. I did a video 8 months ago, and this is lemon balm. I did a lot of herbs though. And so this is just in case I need to make something. I'm not using them right now because I don't have a need for them, but I don't know if I'm going to have a need for them. So this is something else you can do with your herbs. And I have had requests from people, several people, that have, called me or messaged me and say, I have this disease and it's called such and such, and I have big like blisters or rash on my body, and I'm like, I have no idea what that is. Well, is it any way that you can, see if you can make something for it? And I was like, okay, let me do some research on it. And so I would make something. I did that for 2 people, and by the grace of God, it worked. They was like, oh my God, they put a message on Etsy. Oh my God, I'm no longer embarrassed. I don't have to wear long sleeves, so that's why I keep these herbs, because I never know what I'm going to do with it. And just like, my manager, may she rest in peace, but she was fighting cancer. And she walked up, I was sitting at the desk and she walked up to me one day and she was limping and she was like, "Oh, Vanessa." And I'm like, "What's wrong?" She said, "I'm in so much pain. I'm in so much." I'm like, "What?" She said, "I have these, chemo, the very, very strong chemo puts blisters." And she said, "I have blisters under the bottom of my feet and I could barely walk because they're open wounds." And I was like, "Oh my God." And me, being who I am, I'm like, "Well, maybe I could go home and make you something." I said, "No, I'm not guaranteeing you it's going to work. I'm just going to attempt to make you something to try." So I went home, made her a concoction that day, brought it back, gave it to her the next day. I didn't see her for a while because, being sick and all, and then, her immune was like really low, and working in the hospital, that wasn't good. So she would come and go and come and go. And I didn't see her for a while. So one day we had a meeting at the St. Louis Zoo. And I was sitting there because I didn't know where to go. I was lost and I was in this room by myself. I'm like, "Well, I guess somebody gonna come through here and find me." So I'm just sitting here, and all of a sudden I hear, "Oh, Vanessa!" And I turn around. I was like, "Hey!" And she's like, "Damn, my God!" I was like, "What? It worked! It worked!" I said, "Really?" She said that they're mostly all closed up. She said, no, she said they're all closed up. It's just that, no, she said all the soreness is gone and just a few have not closed up yet. She said, "But oh my God." She just couldn't even talk. She said, "I'm not limping anymore. The holes are not open. I'm no longer in pain." And I'm like, wonderful. And that's why I keep these herbs. That's why I'm telling you all, use your herbs to the maximum benefit. Hi, the Pimp 1984. So, okay. Okay, is that the last one? And you can make salves, you can make lotions, you can make lotion bars. You can make everything out of these herbs. So put them to good use. And you can use herbs for baths, for relaxation, or for pain. You can grind them down, put them in a shaker, which a lot of us do. You can make tea bags. If you're interested in that, you can check on my tea bag video. And I also grind mine down and make a tablet out of it. This tablet is for pain, inflammation, and high blood pressure. It lowers your blood pressure, okay? I made this Friday, okay? This is my batch right here that's almost gone. I made this for a friend that I'm shipping to. You can make this. You can make anything you want to if you research it, okay? I'm not a doctor. Research and learn how to make your tablets. Can you see them? You want to know what's in here? I bet you do. Inflammation, pain, and lowers your blood pressure, and many more. After I tell you what the ingredients are, you're going to know it does much more. But this is why I take it, okay? It's turmeric. The green is moringa. You have to have your black pepper if you're using turmeric. And it has ginger and honey. So, you mix all your ingredients together. It's just like making bread. After it's in that bowl with that honey, you just smash it till you get a nice little ball, just like making homemade bread. Once you get that ball, you have your either wax paper or some parchment paper. You lay it down, you put another piece on top, you roll it with that rolling pin, okay? Roll it with that rolling pin till you get you a nice little, size. Then you find something with an itty bitty circle on it. And you just go around, boop, 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 boop. Make your little tablets. So you pick one up, you put it in your hand, you roll it and mold it. You rolled it and molded. And make sure you got your gloves on. Okay? You rolled it and molded. You rolled it and molded. If it looked like if you made it too skinny, you just squeeze it on back down, put it back in there, roll. Just then you do want to do a gentle roll and mold, and you look at it. If that's the size you want, then that's the size you keep. If you think that's too fat to swallow, then you keep on rolling and molding. And then you jar it up. And this, what I like about this is if I have to be on the road, I can't take my jug of tea. This I can take with me. Okay? That's why I like this. Very convenient, and I can take it anytime. See, they so tight in here you can't hear them. But see, after 2 days, when you make them, they sound like this. Okay, so they're soft when you make them. When you roll it in and mold, they're gonna, like I said, you can change the shape and size and everything. But then you're gonna lay them out on a tray, and then just put another, wax paper, something on top of it for 2 days. In 2 days, they're going to sound like this, and then you could jar them up. And the ingredients are simple. All the ingredients are the same. So the ginger, the turmeric, the moringa, and the honey are all 3 tablespoons. All of them are 3 tablespoons. The only difference is the black pepper, which is a half a teaspoon. Okay? Got that? 3 tablespoons of turmeric, ginger, honey, and moringa. And then your 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. So you can make these pills if you wanted to, if you were interested, And I know most of us who are in the herb business know the benefits. So these little things is going to help way more than why I take them, which is probably, I just, sometimes you just wonder, you forget you even had a pain, okay? And I have, I can hear somebody talking about a pain, and I go to say, oh, I have that. I'm like, wait a minute. Bursitis. I used to have bursitis. Someone was telling me about, oh, something hurts. So I said, girl, that's bursitis. I got that. I go, wait a minute. I ain't felt bursitis in about a year now. Sometimes you totally forget you have a pain when you taking all these herbs. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I think that's it. Now, if anyone has any questions, but one thing I wanted to remind you all of, your waterproof packets for your important information. You can also get the lanyard on here in case you wanted to hang it on your neck, but it's waterproof. It's real tight. With the floods going on, child, we just don't know. But if you have to leave your home and you want your important papers with you, you can get a waterproof pouch, and I'm sure they're on Amazon and everywhere else. Okay? So, any questions, anyone? No questions? Hello, ghetto. Okay, so let me go back and see if I did. Oh, wait a minute. Ah, you have my husband making the pills all the time after I did the activated charcoal. Yes, activated charcoal. Wonderful thing. Praise God for all the herbs and trees he has given us to heal. Amen. Very helpful and beneficial information being bestowed upon us. Taking notes as well. Awesome. Thank you so much, Barb Brownlee. That is why we are here, and that's why I was trying to stress this earlier. So if you missed the first part of this, please do the replay. We are a group of people who are just trying to help. We help each other, and we want to help you. Like I said earlier, you could take a screenshot of this. There are a lot of creators on here can help you with a lot of things that I talked about earlier and what I'm talking about now. You can always reach out and listen to these people talk with their content, and they will be able to give you some type of information. Okay? What for the tea again? The tea. Oh, the tea. I didn't say what was in the tea. I be naming stuff all day that's in this tea. I was telling you what was in the tablet. But the tea is whatever herbs you have to research the herbs that you want that helps with upper respiratory. And then you want to add citrus fruits to the tea. And then if you can take echinacea, you can add that. If you could take uh I got a blank. What is the one I'm trying to say? Elderberry. If you could take elderberry, if you could take mullein, all of these things are for the upper respiratory. So you can make the tea out of whatever herb that your body can take, because you could be allergic. I can't just throw out, use this. You have to do the research. You have to find out if you don't have a medication that interferes with that, and that not allergic to it or anything. So that's how you can make your tea. I just encourage that you put citrus in it. The pineapples, the oranges, the lemons, the limes, the grapefruits, if you're not on a medication that grapefruits interfere with. So if that helps, I will be rewatching and taking notes. This has been amazing. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Andale. Thank you so much for coming. This is what I do. I've told you I have done herbs for a long time. I got foam bag and dry bag, waterproof duffel bag. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Yes, I have been doing herbs for an awful long time. This is what I do. And, you know, I'm so used to people coming to me, make me this, make me that, make me this. And when I try to encourage them to make it themselves, they don't want to do it. But since I have this YouTube family and all of these new people coming to listen, I can tell you what I do so I can feel good. There's nothing like feeling good. Trust and believe, I've had some bad days. I used to walk the halls and just, hi, put on that smile, but they had no idea what I was feeling like on the inside. And then I could see people all bubbly, and I say, hey, how you doing today? Oh, I'm blessed. And I was like, that's good. I wish I was feeling good like you are. I'm telling you, I have had some bad days. And I can only believe that it's what I'm doing is with these herbs, of taking care of myself with these. So do your research, find out what works for you, and see if this is something you want to incorporate into your body and into your family. Okay. We vacuum sealed up our important stuff like, oh, that's a good one. Hi, Miss Shirley O.G. Gardner. Love this information. Thank you so much, Triple Threat. Okay, so let me look on my table because I always find out after I close, I forgot to talk about something. Okay, I think I got everything this time. Oh, I did forget something. Okay, I just want to bring this to you all attention. Like I said, some of you all don't read the news. I'm one of them. I get it. But as you may not know, that last week they were warning some countries about how to prepare. They was actually sending out and telling them where to go and get checklists on how to prepare your home in case you have to bug out in home in a radiation emergency. Okay? I don't know if you all saw that. But I just wanted to let you know you can go and print out these checklists so you can know what you need to do in your home. We haven't got this news from what's going on, in our USA, but other countries are getting it. And everybody knows what happens there. You never know, okay? So you can pull up the shelter in place in a radiation emergency. This is a 3-page checklist, just getting your house prepared. This came off of Jace Medical's website, okay? Then I pulled up one on FEMA's website, which is Be Prepared for a Nuclear Explosion. Just FYI information. Not saying these things going to happen, but I feel like if they wanted their people, giving them a heads up, helping them to prepare, we should be doing the same. Okay, then I pulled up another one that's called the Nuclear Fallout Preparation Checklist. And I can't remember what site I got this one from. But it tells you what to prepare, what to have in your home. So if you're interested in that, you may want to go and find these checklists and just have them available. Okay? With those tablets, could you take too much of it? You're supposed to take 2 a day. 2 a day, but yes, also get potassium iodide. It's probably in there in that paperwork as well. Okay, the tablets. No, which one I was on? Saving to rewatch later. Okay, oh, that's what I was going to talk about. The pills. Okay. When you are taking something for the first time, and I do it myself, and I'm an expert on putting herbs in this body, I still don't take the correct dosage when I first start. When I, make something and you reading on the recipe or whatever how they encourage you to take it or whatever, I never take the dosage that's recommended because I don't know how my body is going to react to it. So I always start off, if it says 2 pills, I start off with 1. Sometimes if it's 2 pills twice a day, I might start off with 1 pill twice a day, or I might just start off with 1 pill per day. But I work myself up to the recommended dosage. And I suggest you do the same because I can tell you that these are very gentle herbs, but still, your body is your body. I don't know, nobody knows. We never know if you're allergic to any of these things. So minimum dosage after you do your research and see if this is something that you can take or want to take. I saw that some buses have the instructions posted on the outside of the shelter. Yes, I heard that they actually have the fallout sign. It's a sign that shows you that's a fallout. Yeah, you can't see it. I don't know if I even show it to you. But it's this little symbol right here on the end. Oh, where it go? Where it go? There it go. The little symbol on the end, that they said you should look for these symbols on buildings. And they said it's mainly like a church, could be a school. But they said these are the places where you can go if something like that happens and you need to get into one of those. But the rest of these papers are telling you what to do inside your own home, how to safeguard and prepare in your own home. So that, I just think that's information we don't need to be hearing at the last minute. That might just be me, but anyway. Okay, I'm just checking to see if I have any last minute. But if you do have a question, can you please put it in the little red question marks? World is a peak. Okay, I think But if I skipped your question, could you please bring it back to me? Because I would like to answer it. Because I run this back, you know, maybe a day later or so, a couple of days later. And then I'll see questions. I'm like, oh, I wanted to answer that. I wish I could, gave them the information they wanted. So if you have a question now before I close, can you ask the question again so I can answer it for you? I have plastic sheeting pre-cut for each window and also stock up on duct tape. Everyone makes, yes, we all should have a house full of duct tape. Yes, we should. But you know what? I used some duct tape last week and it actually came down. I was very disappointed. I'm like, wait a minute, are they changing the way they make duct tape? I walked in there and the duct tape was sitting on the floor. I'm like, really? So I do have Gorilla Glue duct tape. I don't know if that's any better, but I may go out and get some more duct tape because this duct tape is not reliable. Okay, but yeah, we should have duct tape. For the ginger and turmeric, should they be fresh or powdered? Well, they have to be powdered. And if you have if you have it in the garden, you could grind it down. But if you have it, it has to be ground powder. Yeah, you can't make this because it would spoil. Okay, you want ground. Okay. Do you ever buy your herbs? Yeah, I have to. You see that little teeny weeny garden out there? I would love to make all my herbs, but if you've been watching my shorts or my videos, you can see which herbs I do make. I try to make as many as I can. Like I said, I have some in jars and I have some in the freezer, but I also have a suitcase sitting right here next to me full of herbs. So I do have to go. I go to the African shop and I buy the herbs, from the Africans. So, yes, I do buy herbs. But one day, they're going to all be Renaissance grandma's garden herbs, okay? So, yes. Use Gorilla. Yeah, they have some oh, well, honey, maybe I have the generic duct tape. It don't have it's old, so it don't have which that could be a problem too, that it's old. Maybe I need to buy a whole fresh batch of tape. You're welcome. What's your favorite research source for herbs? Well, I have opticary books. I have some that's old. I mean old. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long, long, long time. And sometime when you buy herbs, which I don't even know if they still do that, because when I used to buy essential oils and herbs long time ago, they gave you a pamphlet and it had tons of information. So I got all these little pamphlets as well. So that's how I know how to put them in, categories of when I'm telling you, is this for a headache? Is this for, cramps? If this for autoimmune, I use my books. And then I do pull up sites like I read you out earlier. If you was here, I had opened up something from the Georgia School of Georgia College, where they was telling you about something, and and it had been tested, and some immunology place had tested something. So I get my information from different places. You're welcome, Carbon Q. Much love to you as well. Hello, Vision Preparedness, the Bud Files. Okay, that's all the questions. Okay, it was one more thing I wanted to mention. I am working on something. The scientist that I am. I'm only saying that as a joke because I have so many things going on. I was on the phone the other day talking to someone, and they heard someone say, "What is this in the refrigerator? We got some brown stuff. We got some purple stuff. What is this?" Don't drink any of it. I have to tell people that come to my house, don't ever, ever go in my refrigerator and take anything or drink anything unless you ask. It's like a mad scientist. So I'm working on something. It's marinating right now. When I bring it to you all, I'm going to be, like I told you all, I don't put anything out and say it's true and true until I put it in the homes of people to try. So I'm working on something, and then I'm going to be getting some volunteers, and I'm going to send the product to them. So just letting you know, when you hear about it, you'll know that you already heard about it, okay? So, that's it. Hi, 93 Stain. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, so Lala was the first one in the room, so I don't think she's still here. But I'm going to be sending Lala 2 bars of my homemade soap. 2 bars of soap like this, because she was the first one in the room. So I'll have to catch up with her, or if anybody knows her, ask her to email my Renaissance grandma and send me her information if she wants these 2 bars of soap, because she was the first in the room. And now how this thing keeps scrolling up? Okay. And now I am going to pick a winner. I see someone speaking to Mac, but I don't see a Mac. But hey, Mac, thank you for coming. Thank all of you all for coming. So, pick a number from 1 to 150, and I'm going to choose a winner. 1 to 150. I hope you all learned something and that you can share it with others, and you could research it and see if it's something that you can utilize in your home for your family. Okay, you can stop now. I see the number 56, Miss Shirley O.G. Gardner. Now let me make sure there was no one before her. Oops. Okay, so Miss Shirley, what you have is, you have the baby crocodile. Ta-da! You don't have the large sheets like the wonderful Carbon Q has, but this is 200 sheets, and it's only 8.6 by 7.9, but they are wonderful. They're called the crocodile. They're thick. They are good to clean with. So if you want to email me your info, I will send this out to you. Okay? Is that it? Thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. We are one. Okay? We are one. We're helping each other. We're blessing each other. And we're going to keep doing it. I'll pray for you. You pray for me. And we'll watch God change things. God bless everybody.